Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 6 to 10 of chapter 3. Karmendriyani Sanyamya
Karmendriyani Sanyamya
Ya aste manasa smaran
Ya aste manasa smaran
Indriyartan vimudhatma
Indriyartan vimudhatma
Mithyachara sa uchyate
Mithyachara sa uchyate
Yastvindriyani manasa
Yastvindriyani manasa
Niyamyarabhaterjuna
Niyamyarabhaterjuna
Karmendriyai karmayogam
Karmendriyai karmayogam
Asaktah savishishyate
Asakta savishishyate
Niyatam kuru karmatvam
Niyatam kuru karmatvam
Karmajayo hyakarmanaha
Karmajayo hyakarmanaha
Sharirayatra pichate
Sharirayatra pichate
Na prasidhyeda karmanaha
Na prasidhyeda karmanaha
Yajñarthat karmanonyatra
Yajñartat karmanonyatra
Lokoyam karma bandhanaha
Lokoyam karma bandhanaha
Tadartham karma kaunteya
Tadartham karma kaunteya
Mukta sangha samachara
Mukta sangha samachara
सह यज्ञाः प्रजाः सृष्ट्वा
सह यज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम्
अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम्
येषवोऽस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
येषवोऽस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last few sessions, we have been seeing the different dimensions of niyatam karma, how that can be practically applied in your life. See, whenever we study these scriptures, inspiration is one thing and the practical application is another aspect. So you have to intelligently combine both. When you get exposed to these great truths, when you hear these truths from these great masters, now that will naturally inspire you. It will inspire the mind. Inspiration is the fuel which is required for the car to travel. If there is no fuel, the car cannot move. Similarly, if you are not inspired by something, then you will not progress with it. You will not move forward. When a student approaches a master, now the master inspires the student, not by putting any effort, any special effort to inspire, but by his very presence, he creates that awe. Again, no particular effort involved. Since the master is connected to the infinite, the aura which he radiates, the energy which he radiates is so powerful that a true student gets inspired by that. That is why when people ask this question as to how do you select a guru and all that, in the yogic parlance that question is very absurd, because a student never chooses the guru. It is the guru who chooses the student. When the student is ready, automatically the student is able to receive that energy and get inspired. That awe or that devotion is automatically created. If that inspiration is not there, then the transaction between a master and a student will become a mere worldly transaction, in the sense, you ask information from someone and that person gives. That's like a university professor. That has a different purpose. But when it comes to spirituality, a master is not like a professor. A master is not like a mere teacher. The first thing is that inspiration. And when that base of inspiration is there, then the student becomes extremely receptive to the master, to whatever the master is giving. The student is able to absorb the wisdom. When the intellect is used, the student is able to follow the flow of thought. When devotion is used, the student is able to slide with the master. When a meditation session is there, again the student is able to go with the flow of the energy which the master sets. All these things happen effortlessly because the student is inspired. That is the primary quality required. So this is on one hand. On the other hand, whatever you are inspired with, you should now conquer your tamas, laziness, and put that into practice. It is only through practice you can perfect anything. So you may stand in awe of the master. You may say, oh, what great wisdom he has. All that is fine. But what about you, your life? For your life to change, mere inspiration is not enough. You have to translate that into the practical application. So, when we use the yogic approach, both these things happen. A yogic approach is a combination of inspiration and practical application. If you use a mere intellectual approach, you may only keep analyzing, but this terrific combination will not be achieved. So what do we do with the yogic approach? We just expose ourselves to these great words of wisdom, and as we soak our minds, as we expose our personality to this wisdom, there is an automatic upliftment of consciousness. You get very, very inspired. Now, what should you do with that inspiration? That is the second aspect of the yogic approach. Go deep into these principles, absorb whatever you can, and practice them. Practice them at every opportunity in your life. Never ever say, I don't have opportunity. If let us say a sadhana tip is given about relationships, for example. Now you can practice it at home. You can practice it with your friends. You can practice it with anybody whom you interact with. If a sadhana tip is given about success, that is goal manifestation, you can practice it in your career. You can practice it with respect to your personal growth. Life gives you enough opportunities to practice this wisdom, but the tamas in you, the laziness in you, tries to find excuses why I am not able to practice. If a sadhana is given, do yoga sankirtan, immediately the tamas in the mind comes and says, oh, it's really a wonderful sadhana, but my situation is like this, I am not able to practice it daily because of this, because of that. So many reasons. So in the yogic approach, we don't give any excuses. Once we know that something has to be done, that is very highly beneficial, then by hook or by crook, we find ways to do it. Sometimes you may need to change your plans, you may need to change your regular schedule. But in the overall scheme of things, everything will balance out. So, when these great truths about Niyatam Karma, not only Niyatam Karma, now we'll be seeing more, when these great truths are being revealed to you, you will get inspired. If you're not inspired, you will not come back again. The fact that you're coming back itself puts you at a higher pedestal. When I say higher pedestal, it's not for an ego boost. It's only if you have depth that you can appreciate this kind of the pure wisdom, Otherwise, if the same wisdom is diluted, if other elements are added, which will merely entertain the mind, but it will really not help. When those elements are added, now more people will start coming to it. Whereas here, the wisdom is given to you in its purest form, without dilution. Practical application or practical tips is not dilution. We are talking about the depth here. So the fact that you are coming again and again, you are coming every week, means you have the capacity to receive that depth, and you are in an inspired state. Now, when you are all alone by yourself, conquer your tamas and put it into practice. Where in your own life, pick up one idea, one thought, one principle which inspires you, and then see where you can apply it. If you follow this method, the sadhana will not stop merely when the session ends. The sadhana will not stop merely when your personal session, that is Yoga Sankirtan, ends. The sadhana will continue throughout your day. And when you live every day like this, then your whole life will become a sadhana. That is what is the practical application of karma yoga. How do you convert every karma, every action into yoga? Yoga means union with the infinite. So, niyatam karma, we have seen that in detail. So, don't stop with inspiration. From all the principles which have been given, a few will inspire you more. Others may inspire you a little less. That depends upon the individual taste. It does not matter. So whatever inspires you the most, first pick that up and start practicing. You will find that when you do that, the other things also will start catching up automatically. So, niyatam kuru karmatvam karma jyayo hi akarmanah. Indeed, action is superior to inaction. So, he means indeed, he is very sure about it. I briefly explained last week about that. You can be very sure about something when it is your experiential knowledge, which is what we call as wisdom. When it is hearsay, you can't be 100% sure about it because you have not experienced it. See, today there is a tendency to simply forward any message which you get without checking whether that is true or not. So there are two things. One is the reality. You have to see whether it is a fact. And the other is your experience. You should talk from your experience. You should act according to your experience. If you satisfy both these criteria, then you are practicing this sadhana, which we are indirectly deriving from the fact that he is 100% sure about whatever he is saying. So on one hand, it is his personal experience. On the other hand, it is also a fact. It is a reality. See, sometimes you may personally experience something, but it need not necessarily be a fact. Like if you hypnotize a person and then you show him the floor and say this is a swimming pool, now he will start experiencing a swimming pool there. So he can't say this is my personal experience, I am 100% sure. Yes, he is 100% sure, but it is still not conforming to what the realities are. It is not a fact. So when we see the surety with which he is talking, indeed, whenever a master is making that statement, it is stemming from two things. Number one, his personal experience, and number two, his personal experience is in line with whatever the reality is. So this is the sadhana for you. You need to practice these two. What do we first mean by personal experience? There are three kinds of ignorance. Ignorance can be divided into three types. The first type of ignorance is informational ignorance. You may lack some information about something. That can be easily overcome by gathering information. It can be from books or it can be from a person or anything, any source which can provide you the information. Now the second type of ignorance is ignorance of understanding. See, you may gain the information, but you may not understand it properly. You may not understand the logic of what is whatever has been given. So that can be overcome not by gaining more information, but it is only by analysis, by reflection. In Sanskritam, we call it manana. When you gain information, that is called shravana. Because in the good, shravana means hearing. In the good old days, it was only through hearing that a student used to gain this knowledge. Used to go to the master and the master used to tell him. But that is symbolic of any source or any method by which you gain information. But gaining more and more information will not help you to overcome the second type of ignorance, that is ignorance of non-understanding. This is where many people make a mistake. See, why do we say that you stick to, see, once you have found your master, now stick to that person, gain the full wisdom and reflect. Don't read this book, that book, because that will only cause confusion. If you keep reading so many material, now you will be gathering more and more information, but that will really not solve this second type of ignorance. So with whatever information is being given, for example, every Sunday, enough material is being given for you to reflect. We have considered the nature of the mind, because the mind requires some variety, and accordingly only these sessions have been structured. And then there is this third type of ignorance, that is experiential ignorance. You may know something, you may understand something, but still you don't have a personal experience of it. There, manana or reflection will not work. If you keep on analyzing, you will not get the experience. It is only by practical application that you can get the experience. What they called as nididhyasana. Nididhyasana means, it actually means a lot of things. It means meditation, it means installing these principles in the deeper layers of your mind, right up to the soul level. That can come only in meditation. That's what we do after every discourse. We have a small nididhyasana session. Why? Then only that session will become complete. And then the practical application of this wisdom in your life, that will again help you to gain experience. So these are the three types of wisdom. Generally, people know only the first type, the three types of ignorance, and accordingly the three different ways by which you can gain that wisdom or knowledge and overcome that particular type of ignorance. People generally know only the first one, which is gathering information. If I don't know something, now let me read some more, let me read a book, let me ask someone. That will only help you to overcome the very first phase of ignorance. So when you go to a master, his wisdom is complete because he has gone through all the three stages. So he will see first at what stage you are in. In certain portions you will be in the first stage of ignorance. In certain things you will be in the second stage. In certain things you will be in the third stage. Accordingly, he will structure the dissemination of this wisdom so that all the three aspects are covered. Where you don't have information, he will give you information. Where you have the information but you're not understanding it properly, he will give you logic. He may use many methods to kind of make it very conducive for you to do manana, reflection. Sometimes he may use opposite techniques. That is, he may, if you think, I have understood this, let's say you have understood in a wrong way. Now he may deliberately say the opposite, so that you will start thinking, oh, why is he saying that? All this is possible only if the basic devotion is there. Otherwise, oh, why is he saying that? Let me, I think he is wrong. The mind may conclude that way, the judgmental mind. But a true student will not conclude, because the master is only seeing what type of ignorance is manifesting and how do we solve that issue. And in certain areas, you may have understood it rightly, but you will not be having the experience. For that, he will introduce various methods, the nididhyasana methods. He will give you various tips by which you can practice. He will give you various empowerment. See, what is an empowerment program? What is the difference between this and an empowerment program? In an empowerment program, the focus is more on overcoming the experiential, the ignorance due to lack of experience. Through the transfer of energy. So when we see the surety with which Krishna is saying, indeed he, it means the master has gone, to the third level of wisdom. Of course, Lord Krishna was an avatar. but the rules or the principles still remain the same. So we immediately get this message. What is the message? First, you find out what level of ignorance are you in. See, in many things which you are sure about, ask yourself, do I have proper information about it? Invariably, no. Most of the things which you tell others, you have just heard from somebody casually, and immediately you repeat it or you forward that message. Is the information gathered properly? That is the first step. Second step is you also find out where all have I understood things properly. There is a small catch there. If you are able to locate where you have not understood, then you have moved up to a higher level. That is where a guru is very helpful. Because see, the most interesting part of the yogic approach is when the student feels, I have understood, now the guru gives another dimension, something else. Then the student is flabbergasted, Oh, I thought I have understood this. There is something more to it. All that is meant to trigger this manana aspect, that reflection aspect in a student. So a guru will be very, very helpful in that. And then find out what are the areas where I actually have an experience. So many things I'm saying, so many things I seem to be sure about, but where do I really have a personal experience? You will find those areas will be very little. So if you want to become a yogi, now you find out this and you keep on moving forward in this journey of gaining wisdom, and you overcome the 3 stages of ignorance till you come to the 3rd level. So when it comes to the infinite, it's the same thing. Who is God? You may not know. You gather some basic information. Does it mean you've understood? No. Do a lot of reflection. Then what about the experience? That is only through the empowerment from a master and the sadhana, the meditation which you do. Slowly, you get that experience. So these 3 types of approaches can be applied at every level to master something. Even at the worldly level. If you want to learn a particular art or skill, first information, then understanding that, and then practicing and experiencing that. So let your statements come from your personal experience. That will make you a very powerful communicator. If your statements are coming from information which you have gathered, now that will not have an impact on the listener. Very little impact. You will only be quoting from others, but you wouldn't have digested that information. If your information comes from a lot of thinking and reflection, that will definitely have more power. Not the highest energy or power, but definitely more power than mere information. But when you start talking from your experience, now that will create a very, very powerful impact on the listener. A true master talks from his personal experience. He may use the scriptures, he may use the various information, all that as tools to communicate. But what is he communicating? not the knowledge from the scriptures merely, but he is communicating the experience of that wisdom. That is why when a master talks, that is very impactful. See, the Bhagavad Gita was given 5,000 years back, but it has a tremendous impact on us. Why? Because it is coming from personal experience. This is number one. Number two, you should also ensure that your personal experience is conforming to the realities. In other words, it is not a mere conditioning of your thoughts and emotions. Because the same yogis who say go by your personal experience, they have also said the world is a projection of your thoughts only. If you keep on thinking about something, that will become a reality for you. It may not be an actual fact, but it may become a reality for you. That's why I gave the example of hypnosis. You can hypnotize a person and make him see water where there is no water. But is there water there? No. But he says it is my experience. That is where the master alone can help. See, if you really think about it, what is the necessity of a guru? It's a direct relationship between you and God. Where does a guru come in? This is where he comes in. Of course, there are many other things. I am emphasizing on these aspects here because it is in this context. So, as you learn to get deconditioned by your own thoughts, your own emotions through sadhana, as you decondition yourself and come to a neutral state, you will start conforming your wisdom to the realities of life. If a person is under the influence of alcohol, it is a conditioned state. Now, whatever logic he may give will all be very convincing for his mind, but it will be far away from reality. That is why you need to absorb both these aspects. One is going by your experience, and the other is ensuring that the experience is conforming to the realities, the facts. For in both these sadhanas, the guru will be able to guide. Even when we go to the Upanishads, what is interesting is the master uplifts the student's mind to a very advanced level, and the student goes into very deep meditation, and he has an experience, a divine experience. But that is still not the actual infinite, but one step before. He has such a divine experience and he is in the deep state. At that time, the guru warns him. He says, whatever you are experiencing is not the whole truth, he tells him. So no doubt it is your experience, but it is still not the whole truth. You should continue to do your sadhana and you should evolve further. Otherwise, if you only practice that one aspect, I'll go by my experience, now you will stagnate. You will not grow beyond a certain extent. So yes, today I am experiencing this, but what is the reality? So you should put in some effort to also see whether your experiences are conforming to the realities. If there is a mismatch, the guru will immediately correct the student, like how that great master, he corrected that student who was at a very, very advanced stage. That student who was experiencing almost one step short of that supreme state of enlightenment. Just one step. He is at that level. But even at that level, he requires guidance. That is the beauty. That is why Bhagavan Dattatreya said, be a Nitya Shishya, be an eternal student. Means eternal learner. Keep on learning. Never ever stop your learning just because you have gathered some information. Most of the people do that. Some people stop learning the moment they do some reflection and understand a few things. No, don't do that. Some people stop their learning the moment they do a little bit of nididhyasana and experience a few things. Now, what these great masters are saying is don't do that also, because your experience may be at your level. But as you do sadhana and move up, the experience itself may change. Today, that is your experience. Follow that. It's better than following hearsay. But don't think that is the ultimate experience. This is where devotion will help. So when you maintain the spirit of a research scientist, we can say, what do they do in research? They gather information, they do the analysis. Of course, the nididhyasana part is, you can say, that is the laboratory experiments and all that. So they are also practicing the same thing, but with respect to external knowledge. Now, the same principles with respect to the internal wisdom also. Maintain the spirit of a research scientist. Become an internal scientist, a scientist of truth. This journey is different. One thing is to get a PhD externally. Now, a yogi has also got a PhD, not in the external science, but in the internal science, provided he has followed these steps. So, information to understanding to experience, that is one level. And then conforming that experience with the reality, with the facts, that is the second step. Very, very powerful. So when Krishna says, sure, indeed, I am 100% sure about it, it means all these four criterias have been fulfilled. It's not a mere information, it's not merely his understanding, it's not merely his personal experience alone, but that is in line with what the realities are. So, indeed, what is the statement he is making here? Action is superior to inaction. Karma jayo akarmanah. Karma jayah means action is superior. Jayah means superior. To what? To akarmanah, to inaction. So this is the first logic which he is giving. In the first part of that line, he said, Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Act and ensure that your actions are niyatam karma. Now here, he is giving you the logic. Why should you act? See, the mind will naturally ask this question, no? The beauty of a human being is to ask questions only, no? Other creatures don't ask questions. If you say do it means, if you train, they will just do it mechanically. It's only a human being who's designed to ask why. Why is this? So he is giving the logic. In this part, he'll give one logic, and then in the second line, he will give more logic as to why you should act in the right way. So the first thing which he is saying is action is superior to inaction. So two things he is taking. One is karma and the other is akarma. He is comparing these two. Akarma means inaction. Karma means action. And he says karma is better than akarma. In the first part, he has already defined, he has already explained how that karma can be purified, how that karma can be made more and more subtle, more and more impactful. That is what is niyatam karma. Now here he is giving you the logic of why you should act at all first. So you are well prepared now. The moment he says karma, you will understand it as niyatam karma. If he had said this straight away, action can be imperfect, action can be perfect action. So many types of actions are there. Action can be tamasic also. So having explained, having introduced the principle of niyatam karma, now he is taking that liberty and he says karma is superior to akarma. Now what is interesting is this is a very, very powerful principle which he is using here. That is, the meaning of karma changes according to the meaning of akarma. The moment you say karma is superior to akarma, when you say A is superior to B, according to what B is, the nature of A will also change. Supposing we say you have to score, let's take the game of cricket, So you tell a batsman, you will have to score more than that person. You tell a batsman A that you have to, in today's match, you will have to score more than that batsman B. Supposing the coach tells A like this. Now, if you ask A, now what are you going to score? He will not be able to answer. It all depends on what B is going to score. His goal now is to score more than B. So he may independently score a century, but if the other batsman scores a double century, then that goal has not been fulfilled. Not only with respect to individuals, even in the whole match itself, one team first bats, they score a certain number of runs. Now the other team has to score one run more than whatever the first team has scored. So depending on how much the first team has scored, they will change their strategy. They will not have one uniform strategy for all pitches, all matches. It will never be like that. This is called the principle of being dynamic, being flexible. When it comes to sadhana, it's not mere practical application, but the dynamic application which is important. See, when we see the different meanings of akarman, the different dimensions, and then when we see what karma is, then you will immediately understand this. We'll come to this dynamic application after we see a few dimensions of a karma and the corresponding implication which it has on karma. So the first meaning or the first dimension of a karma is inaction. Inaction means not doing something when you're supposed to do it. That is called tamas. See, tamas is commonly said as sleep. Now, that sleep doesn't mean the regular sleep which our body requires. That is not tamasic. That is not laziness. When you are supposed to act, supposing you are sleeping, then that becomes tamasic. You have certain responsibilities in life. Instead of fulfilling them, now you are just simply sitting and relaxing. Or you are having a drink and you're in your own world. Then that is highly tamasic. That is akarma, the first dimension of akarma. Avoiding something which you ought to do in life. So when you take that dimension of akarma, then what is karma? The opposite of that. That is doing whatever you ought to do in life. So first the comparison of those two dimensions. So if you want to master this, simple. In any given situation, ask yourself, what is it that I am supposed to do in the situation? Straight away you may not get that clarity. It's okay. As long as you are putting in this effort, it's a question of time. Through the sadhana, through the empowerments, your clarity is going to increase only. Right now, what am I supposed to do? I am supposed to listen fully. You yourself will get the answer. After this, when you go to your next experience, what am I supposed to do here? That is karma. Now, avoiding that is akarma. What are the various factors which are forcing me to avoid whatever I am supposed to do? I have a family. I have to take care of the family. This is, let us say, the karma. Now, what are the factors which are not allowing me to fulfill those duties? Maybe addiction to alcohol, maybe addiction to smoking, maybe some kind of ego which you may have. Say, my partner is there. I should be very kind and respectful towards my partner. This is the karma there. If you ask, you will get that clarity. See, earlier we saw niyatam karma, many things were given. Now, this principle, the comparison between karma and akarma, will help you clinch this wisdom. It will help you practically determine what is the niyatam karma. So, being respectful towards my partner is niyatam karma there. We are using the word karma. Karma means niyatam karma. That is understood by now. Now, what is preventing you from talking to your spouse in a respectful way? It may be your ego. Due to your ego, you may not be doing that. Then that is akarma. So, at every step in your life, you can check, what is my karma here? What am I supposed to do here? Now, am I shirking that? To what extent am I shirking that? Sometimes, you have to do this. You may do it 50%. Remaining 50% you may shirk. There, you practice this. What? Karma is superior to akarma. Very powerful principle is being given here. At any point of time, this is a thumb rule. Karma is better than akarma. So, inaction doesn't mean the required rest which you take. Sometimes, let us say you have worked a lot and your body genuinely requires rest. So you take some rest. Now that rest itself becomes karma there. Relaxation becomes karma there. If you don't do that, and if you are a workaholic, if you are overdoing things to a point of fault, then you are again slipping into akarma. See, this is, if you go deep into it, it's a little tricky. It's not as simple and plain as it looks. That is only the first, at first glance what you get. But if you go deep into it and try to practice it in your life, it will slowly open up so many things. This will help you to purify every action of yours. So when you go to office, what am I supposed to do? Am I doing it fully? Am I doing it properly? No means then you are in akarma. So immediately change gears. From akarma, move to karma. So the central point of this verse is karma. Our understanding is niyatam karma. That is very clear. So whenever you slip to akarma, now get back to karma. This is a simple message. Simple but very profound. So this is the first dimension of akarma. Now, the second dimension of akarma is, first is avoiding action, inaction. That is what we have given in the translation, because we cannot give everything. But since we are using the yogic approach, it's a great opportunity to go into the depth of it. So the second dimension of akarma is improper action. So the first dimension is avoiding action, whatever has to be done. The second is you are not avoiding action, but you are doing it in an improper way. Whenever you do something in an improper way, that is called akarma. So the moment you take that dimension of akarma, then what is karma? Karma is proper action, proper work, working in a proper way. So when you take the first dimension of inaction, karma becomes action. Act. Action is better than inaction. Now, when he says karma is superior to akarma, with the second dimension, acting properly is better than acting in an improper way. What do we mean by improper action? See, the mind has this tendency to do something without learning it properly. I know many people who are in a field for many years, but they never master those skills fully. If you really want to master a skill, you know what is the best way? The best way is to work with people who are more skilled than you in that field, so that you can learn from all of them. You will quickly master whatever is required. But the ego will prevent you from doing that. The mind has this weakness of just doing things in a casual way, not doing it in a proper way, the right way. Improper action means wrong action. So proper action means right action, doing things in the right way. So number one, see, after seeing all these dimensions, we will combine all these dimensions, and then see how that can create so much of power in your action. So number one is act, better than to be lazy. The second thing is, it's not enough if you're merely acting. Ensure that you're doing the right actions. Ensure that you're doing the actions in the right way, in the proper way. A typical scenario is when your boss, someone whom you're working under, it could be in any field, when your boss points out a mistake, immediately the ego gets hurt. So your mind tends to justify. Now, if you have that weakness, you can never learn, you can never grow. Who is a person who becomes very skillful in any field? A person who learns when mistakes are pointed out by his superiors. It is more so true in spirituality. When a guru points out certain mistakes, now the student's ego refuses to accept that. Such a student cannot really grow and become a yogi. And this principle is applicable in any area of your life. So the second question, first question is, am I doing whatever I ought to do? What is it? What is my karma here? Am I doing it or not? The second question is, okay, I am doing it. Am I doing it properly or not? You can make an assessment, but that can be done only up to a point because you are caught up in that level. If you take the guidance of someone who is better than you in that, that person will be able to give you a more objective assessment of your work. That person may say, these things are good. These things, I think you made a mistake here. Immediately the ego will come. Who is he to tell? Why should I listen to him or her? All these factors will come. Now, that will, if you fall a prey to those weaknesses, then you will get into akarma. You will no doubt be acting, but it will be improper work. So shift gears and get to karma. Learn from the mistakes and keep on perfecting yourself. This is the second dimension. So according to this dimension of akarma, now the meaning of karma again changes from action to proper action. So ask yourself, various activities I am doing, am I doing it in a proper way? Are there ways by which I can keep on improving my skills in this? See, when it comes to improvement, remember one thing, there is no end to improvement. You can keep on improving. The greatest of achievers are achievers because they are in a mode of continuous improvement. A yogi has fine-tuned his personality to be in a state of continuous learning and improvement. The moment you are tamasically satisfied, and this is it, thereafter your growth will stop. You see, it's very interesting. If you meet a master, now you may call him a master, the world may call him a master, but how does he approach life? That is something which you should know. He doesn't consider himself as a master at all, because there is so much to learn from everyone. Emerson said this, no? Every man I meet is my superior in one way. In that I learn of him. So the moment you get into this learning mode, improvement mode, now you become an eternal learner. Your very system is now tuned to this mode of improvement, continuous improvement. In Japanese philosophy, they call it Kaizen. Kaizen means continuous improvement. It's the same thing only. The same principle. A different name has been given. Because the truths are same. Whether you use this language or whether you use some other language, all these things do not matter. So, tuning your personality to that mode of Kaizen, to the mode of continuous improvement. Incidentally, if you tune yourself like that, what will happen is your life will become very, very interesting. Boredom will never set its foot in your life, because in every area you can apply this principle. It could be a simple thing like cleaning your room, making your room more organized. In a small thing like that, you can keep trying so many things, and it will become very interesting. A yogi is one who follows this principle of Kaizen properly. And we are following that principle of continuous improvement, because that is an essential aspect of yogic approach. So yogic approach is not saying that this is perfect and stopping action. It is being in a state of continuous improvement. Learn that phrase, Kaizen. Kaizen means continuous improvement. It'll help you so much. They use that in as a management principle to improve organizations. Now it is not applicable only to organizations. It is applicable first at the personal level. So this is what I was saying. Your sadhana should be dynamic, the application. According to what akarma is, now the color of karma changes. So number one, akarma means inaction. Number two, akarma means improper action. Now number three, akarma means inefficient action. What do we mean by inefficient action? We'll see. You may be in action. You may have mastered that skill quite a bit. You may be doing the actions in a proper way. Still, you may be inefficient because you are not applying your full mind there. We can't say your action is not proper. Your action, the methods which you are using are all wonderful, but you are not giving your heart and soul into that. Then the efficiency of your action will reduce. A mother takes care of her child. Let's say the mother spends few hours with the child. Now, if the mother is not enjoying the process, if the mother is highly worked up and stressed, if she gets stressed, thereafter that action will become very inefficient. She may be talking nicely to the child, she may be engaging with the child in some, let's say, games, all that. Proper work may be there, but the efficiency will not be there. So, one is to make the work proper, the other is to ensure that your efficiency in work is to the optimum level. Generally, when you act, whenever you don't enjoy that activity, then your efficiency reduces. You may be in a system where all the rules have been laid down properly. The proper work may be there, but your personal efficiency will still be less. So this is the third question you should ask. Okay, am I acting? Yes or no? Am I doing proper action? Means, am I improving the skills? Yes. Now, am I being efficient and productive? What is the level of my personal efficiency? If one action can be done in, let us say, 10 minutes, am I taking 30 minutes to do that? When you get exposed to this wisdom, when you do your sadhana, the beauty is your personal efficiency will start increasing tremendously. There are many people who have reported this. Students, business men, business women, employees of organizations, homemakers. I have seen that, where initially they said, oh, I don't have time. But once they started doing the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana, they got enough time to do so many other things. How? Because their concentration powers increased. So whatever they were able to finish, let us say in 4 hours, now they are able to finish in 1 hour, which means the personal efficiency has increased. Then they have more time to do more things, to accomplish whatever they want to accomplish. So if you want to get more time in your life, this is the key. Increase the efficiency. Because remember, externally time is the same, 24 hours for everyone. So you cannot increase that. So are you going to remain unfulfilled? No. Our yogis say, you adopt this method. Let the time remain as it is. You increase your personal efficiency. So there are many factors which help you to increase the personal efficiency. As we go along, we'll see that. But first you understand this principle. Am I being efficient in my action, or what is the percentage? Again, there is scope for improvement in this. It is an endless scope. Primarily, when your mind is distracted, when it is running helter-skelter, your efficiency will reduce. When your mind is focused, which is what a yogi has mastered, now the efficiency in action increases tremendously. So you should aim to keep on increasing the efficiency in your actions. You should not be merely satisfied with action, number one, and just merely by learning the rules of that particular activity and following those rules. That is not enough. Now, what about your personal efficiency? That is the third dimension of akarma. There are so many dimensions. I am only going to give you 3 or 4, which are more than enough to transform your life. So, among the activities which I am doing, first is what am I supposed to do? Okay, I am doing these things. Am I doing it in a proper way? Am I continuously improving in that area or not? The second thing. Okay, among those proper activities which are properly structured and all that, what is my level of personal efficiency? Am I applying my mind fully there? Am I able to gather all my energies and give it my best shot? Am I doing that? So when akarma becomes inefficient work, inefficient action, then what is the meaning of karma? Karma is efficient work. The meaning of karma changes according to akarma. This is like a gold mine. It's amazing, what he is giving us, something phenomenal. I don't know how these yogis have gone into such depth. See, they are just making, it looks like they're making some casual statements here and there, But when you apply yourself and see, oh, so much of stuff is there within something which they seem to be uttering casually. That is the beauty of all these yogis. Why do we bow down to these great masters? Because they were real geniuses. Okay, so we'll stop there today. A lot of very useful principles have been given to you. So you reflect, do manana on that. During today's nididhyasana, we will install a few of these principles in the deeper layers of your mind. And then in the next session, we'll continue further. Okay, so before we do the nididhyasana, I will take up one question. This is a question which has been asked by Deepak. Do you sit for meditation with the intention of looking for an answer to a particular question on your mind? Is this recommended to do before listening to Yoga Sankirtan as well? Or is it recommended to do this type of answer-seeking meditation separately? Currently, my mind wanders when meditating, often looking for solutions to some problems in life. But I try to bring back my awareness whenever possible. During the time it wanders, the quality of solutions that come to me varies. Sometimes the ideas are bad as it comes from a lot of emotions, while other times the ideas are better. So thank you for all the guidance. It's a very nice question which Deepak has asked. The way the question has been framed itself goes along with whatever he's doing. I think he has done his PhD in cryptography. Research minded. The beauty is, this is the internal PhD which you're doing. Now, when it comes to finding solutions, finding answers to the various problems you have, what is suggested in the yogic approach is not to use meditation to find answers to your solutions till you come to a very advanced stage. I'll explain what it means. When I was explaining the process of the sadhana, the principle of being sure, that is your personal experience and all that, I did mention to you, you may have a personal experience, but that may be conditioned by your own thoughts and emotions. That is exactly what you're saying. Sometimes the answers are very good, sometimes the answers are not good because a lot of emotions are there. So what is suggested is, first, when you do the Yoga Sankirtan meditation, first do that for a while. Now, I'm only saying for a while. I'm not saying how many years and all that, because that depends on the individual. But it's better for a few years, you just do it for self-purification. Last week I was explaining to you, last week or the one before that, about unmanifest desires, how they come out as thoughts, so all that. So a lot of thoughts will come in the meditation, not only thoughts, emotions, pictures will come, the past incidents will come. You're talking about thoughts with respect to this life, but as you advance further, incidents from previous births also will start coming. We have not even considered that. So when so much of impressions have been stored within you, now it is very difficult for you to get the answers from meditation in an objective way. See, in meditation, we are trying to decondition ourselves. That happens gradually only. Only when you are in a deconditioned state, you will be able to decode the answers which you get in meditation properly. See, one is to get the answer, the other is to decode it properly. Deepak will be able to understand it best because you've done your PhD in cryptography only, when you're encrypting messages intended with the intention that that person alone should read it, now there is an inbuilt secret key. First is the encryption, then that has to be decoded properly. Only then that person can read the messages. It is the same thing with respect to the subtle truths of life. Actually, it is the same principle with respect to these scriptures also. All these verses are in encrypted form. That is why you require a master who holds a secret key to bring it to a form where you are able to grasp these principles. So with respect to the external scriptures, when it is like this, just imagine when you're doing the meditation, your mind is like a forest. You can get lost in so many things. That's why under the guidance of a master, when you do it carefully, you will slowly start deconditioning yourself. When the deconditioning happens, which means you will get the ability to view something without the influence of your own mind, without the conditioning of your mind. Mind means your emotions, thoughts, beliefs. Then only you will be able to see the answer, in this case answer or any message, objectively without coloring it. Otherwise, what will happen is, you will say, I want to get an answer. Now, your own mind will project an illusion and it will give you an answer which it wants to hear. Like a typical example is one person who was addicted to alcohol. Now, he told me, I have been listening to Yoga Sankirtan and I've been following. I said, have you come out of that addiction? He said, no. I said, how is it possible? If you do the sadhana properly, if you have true devotion towards the Guru, and if you're doing the sadhana properly, it will get you out of the addiction, because the meditation sadhana will give you more addiction than what the alcohol can give. The alcohol will drop off by itself. He said, no sir, I sat in Yoga Sankirtan meditation truly asking for answers. And whatever answer came, I just followed. I said, what answer you got? The answer which I got is, don't think of anything. Just focus and be in the present. Practice that. I said, okay, so what did you practice? So every day when I'm sitting in front of the bottle, now what is the answer which I got in meditation? Don't think of anything. Just focus on the present. In my present is a bottle, so I just start drinking. Then I had to really sit and tell him, this whole trick is being played by your mind. So that is why do the meditation as a general sadhana. Now, what will happen? This is also I'll tell you. As you keep progressing with the grace of the Guru Shakti, as you get more and more deconditioned, as you get more and more pure, now the capacity for you to decode whatever messages you may receive will start increasing, and that will become an automatic process. At a very advanced level, an advanced yogi can detach his consciousness from the body, from the emotions, from the thoughts, and just get to that neutral position and see what the truth is. That is applicable only at the advanced level. So, as a sadhana, these masters are suggesting that if you want an answer to a problem in life, seek the answers through analysis by gathering more facts, using your analytical capability, or you can take guidance from the higher intellect, from a master, in case there is no clarity, and try to build your decision making through this first, and just keep doing your sadhana without any particular fruit in mind. Now, as you keep purifying yourself, as your clarity increases, then you will automatically go to that stage of a yogi. Accordingly, when a student starts growing into that dimension, the master will give suitable empowerments. That's called clairvoyance, the higher clarity, you can put it that way. So this is the answer to your question. This is a very good question. It is extremely beneficial for all the sadhaks. So kindly make a note of it. And if you have any further clarifications, do feel free to ask. Okay. So now we'll do the Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I'm getting into a state of deep relaxation. Feel the divine vibrations. Oh. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. Beyond my physical body, beyond my emotions, beyond my thoughts, deep, deep within me lies my essential self. My essential self is the infinite reality. From this moment onwards, I choose to act in a proper way with full efficiency. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So we had another powerful session, karma versus akarma. Apparently so simple, but when you go into it, extremely deep and profound. So think on these points and start practicing them at every opportunity. Consider every experience as an opportunity to follow this wisdom, some aspect of this wisdom. Okay. And do your daily sadhana, that is very important. Of course, since the 22-day program is still on, during this period, no need to do any other sadhana apart from that. But I'm saying otherwise, in general. It will enhance all your powers. Okay. So we'll conclude with this today. We'll see more in the next session. Thank you very much. Hari Om.